How'd you like that? Mama.
Oh my god. Dude, that was so fucking dark.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is. I thought, like, I don't know.
And then blows his fucking head off.
I was cracking up when I got your like.
We have to now. Now that we're talking about this, we need to post it.
Yeah,
on our Facebook.
Real? No, I don't know.
We're talking about it.
No, we can talk about it, but the whole gun thing, and I don't know. You remember with the?
I don't know. It feels like it's very Swedish humor, maybe.
It's called the No, we'll just tell what it's called. It's
what's it called?
Mahamana Killer on YouTube.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a little, really darkly funny. I don't know. I check it out. I don't know how I discovered it, and then I went on a dive, and I was like,
yeah, no, that was a weird thing to wake up to.
But it's not from something. It's literally
it's just a skit. Yeah, it's just a short YouTube skit.
Yeah, I was like, is this from like To Hunt a Killer show kind of thing? Like
someone was like, you know, it'd be fucking
that's
funny.
Not a show. I don't know. Sorry.
You know, what'd be funny is like if somebody was like held at gunpoint in front of their own grave, like it's like a hitman's gonna kill somebody.
I'm really waiting for. Go ahead. Sorry.
What?
Are you saying like, oh, there's like, no, it would be really funny, and then they made this skit?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. It's like to be like I honestly, it felt like something that I possibly would have written while I was at Cornish.
That's why I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I just loved your comment of it. Like, well, that's a way to wake up. I'm just sitting at my computer losing it. But you're the only person I would send it to that would even like remotely appreciate it.
I think Indigo might, maybe.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now that we're bringing her up, she's going to be like, guys!
She's going to check it out. And she's gonna
share it with me!
Watch. We're going to get a very angry text in a couple like days about it.
All right, we're talking too much now. Let's lead it.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
Did you forget? This is Tommy and Jacob's
I am
mixtape.
Ron Burgundy. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Fuck. All right, yeah. Play the music. Hey!
That was fun.
I'm having an identity crisis, apparently.
Apparently. So we all know how he's doing.
I'm a little delirious. I am what's the what's didn't have a lot of sleep. There's a word for that. Tired?
Yeah. I think that's the more commonly used phrase.
Yeah. Everyone might witness like Jacob finally losing his mind. Why'd we go quiet there? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just waiting for you to get past your psychoses.
I don't know if I can. Let's just go through it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, cool. So yeah, welcome back, everybody. This is a banter episode that we were going to be doing today. First and foremost, though, I just want to recommend two things that I recently media ingested. First, the new season of Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh yeah, that came out,
and it is
that came out like a month ago, didn't it?
Yeah, and I finally finished it. It's phenomenal. It's really cool.
8 episodes, 10 episodes.
Yeah, 10, I think.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Yeah,
it's absolutely horrifying, but it's really cool. And then also there's another show on HBOMax, kind of going with the anthology thing called Folklore, that I highly recommend to check out. It is basically a horror anthology of a bunch of different like ghost stories, but they're all Asian culture inspired. Ooh. So I think the first one's Indonesian, if I remember correctly, and then the second one is Japanese, and I just finished those 2 episodes. But yeah, they're just like these really boogeyman ghost story about, you know, like one's like, you know, the ghost is like a child stealer and the mother's trying to get her kid back, just shit like that. But it's really it's terrifying.
There's a name for that type of ghost, actually. I can't remember off the top of my head.
But yeah, I really suggest.
Cool story, Jacob. Oh.
But also, it's just like I've come to realize I like anthology stuff because it's like the charcuterie of media. You get a little taste of a bunch of little stuff, and I really think that's like, especially for horror, that's a really good way to go because you can ruin a movie that, like Dead Silence, didn't need to be like an hour and 40 minutes long, but it is.
I don't remember Dead Silence.
It's a puppet.
What?
Ventriloquist puppet. Thing.
No, I've never seen it then.
Oh, that's actually pretty. It's just enjoyable.
I like how you like didn't need to be this long.
No,
you need to watch it.
No, it just didn't need to be that long. Like if you had trimmed off 20 minutes of it, it would have been fine. But you know they got to make it longer.
What was the ventriloquist doll's name in the Goosebumps? Night of the Living Dummy.
Who you calling dummy?
Smacky Wacky?
Smacky?
No.
It's something like that, right?
I think so, yeah.
Smacky Wacky. Give him the old Smacky Wacky.
Oh, that sounds like a...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why I said it like that. But yeah, so that was just a little fun recommendation. I definitely. So yeah, it was check out the new season of Love, Death, and Robots, and then Folklore on HBOMax. I really think that anyone that likes, it's like it's grudgy, you know. It's like they're ghost stories. They're not over the top, violent, hostile. They're
You sold it. You're overselling it.
Okay. Any winkle.
Sorry to shut you down like
Seriously. That. Fine, Jacob. Have fun doing this on your own. Walk out.
That
would be. I would love that. That would be funny.
If you just walked down like, all right, now
see what happens.
Welcome to Jacob's mixtape.
Welcome to Jacob. Jacob.
Welcome to Jacob's mixtape. Hey guys, Jacob. Where am I going? Wow, I'm really losing my mind.
Okay, let's go back to our topics. You want to start us?
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, so I've been playing the Oculus a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Let me go into sanity mode. God. Yeah. So yeah, this is just a little teaser. Hopefully, possibly. Tommy and I've been playing the Oculus, and we are trying to move forward on recording our first reactions to VR games, essentially. Yes. So like,
we gotta after this, we gotta discuss which horror one we're gonna get.
I already got one. Oh. I know exactly what it is.
What is it?
I can't remember the name. Great. But it came out. I want to say within the last couple of months.
Is it the underwater one?
No.
Oh.
No, it's actually a space one.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it feels kind of like Dead Space.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's the best way to put it. It kind of feels like Dead Space.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, I know. I watched the trailer and I was like, Tommy's going to scream.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to try and get some more stuff on our YouTube, and it's going to be just right now Oculus.
No, it'll probably just be Oculus, yeah.
For the time being.
Because, I mean, we don't really have Steam or, I mean, we need to figure out how to record stuff.
we'll get all that. So we'll keep you updated.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, I mean, we got two topics. Topics is a word. That is a word.
Two topics.
I'm so sorry for where I'm
together.
at. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we have two topics for you today. We're going to start off talking about the Mortal Kombat reboot, remake, rehash, redo,
new Mortal Kombat.
Third time rehashed, redone.
Mortal Kombat 2021. Mortal Kombat 2021.
Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
That almost sounds like that would be the next game, too. Mortal Kombat 2021.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We're kind of late to the game because we were doing our whole Star Wars thing, but we've been wanting to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it now.
Now we're going to talk about it all.
But yeah, this isn't going to be like a review. This is just going to be us, oh my God, talking about it.
Do you guys even like us anymore?
They never did. So, first and foremost, I mean,
yeah, so it came out on HBOMax, the early release. I mean, so if you guys haven't seen it, I guess, like, and you don't want any spoilers or anything, check out to our second half where we're going to be talking about Toxic Fandom later.
Yeah.
Yeah, get later. See ya. Maybe not. Maybe just listen to us.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, too, we can't really. It's not like.
I mean, no,
nothing to spoil.
What are you talking about? There's a lot to spoil. There's a storyline that I didn't like, but you know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could guess where the movie goes.
If anybody has ever played the video games and then let's say you haven't watched any of the other movies and you'd only played the video games and you knew the storyline of the video games and you watched that movie, you would have no idea what the fuck you're watching. Because that movie has the only thing that movie has in comparison to the video games is character names and characters, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because some of the backstories were similar.
Almost none.
Well, I mean, the two. Anyways.
Yeah, obviously, I have feelings about this.
This was directed by Simon McQuaid, and this is actually his very first movie, which I found kind of interesting to do with such a big franchise to not get somebody a little more seasoned.
Did you see what else he had done before?
He did one short.
Well, I mean, like just like in media world itself. Well, I mean, you don't have to look it up, but
no, I mean that's he does this, and he has one short from a few years ago. That this is like his
he's not
debut.
like a computer engineer or computer graphics artist.
That's the thing. I went on his. It doesn't say anything about.
That's
him.
really weird.
This is his birthday, and that's kind of it. I mean, I'm sure if I didn't do like a deep dive of him, but I just thought it was kind of interesting that they didn't. Go, yeah.
I mean, he was like. Wasn't it that like he like when a producer on it too? Like he put someone put a lot of work into this movie that I remember seeing an interview about, and I forget who it was, but they were talking about how they truly wanted to make sure that whoever they casted truly knew martial arts and the style of martial arts for the characters, because they wanted it to they wanted the fighting to be as accurate as possible. Essentially, they didn't want people that were just like stunt actors type thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, which that's one thing I gave a lot of credit for is like the fighting in this movie is phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's like you kind of have to have it.
No, exactly. But like when you put it into comparison to like the first two, well the original two. I mean, Annihilation will just kind of let be whatever Annihilation was because it annihilated itself. But the first one, like the guy that played Liu Kang, like he knew martial arts. The guy that played Shang Tsung, he knew martial arts. Johnny Cage didn't know martial arts. Forget the actress's name that played Sonia Blade. She didn't know martial arts.
Isn't she in Happy Gilmore? Or
yes.
Happy Madison?
No, Happy Gilmore. Happy Madison is the production company.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no. Not Happy Gilmore. She's in Billy Madison.
Madison.
Happy Gilmore is the mom from Modern Family. Julie Bowen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Pull that information out there. But
so hard, you want to touch the hide. Stupid.
Let's not get onto Adam Sandler quotes. we could do this for hours, man. Anywho, the guy who plays Bihan / Sub-Zero in this movie, little nugget of fact, they actually had to ask him to slow down his movements because he moved so fast in the fight choreography that the camera couldn't catch his movements. And there's only been one other person in film history that's had that asked for, and that is Bruce Lee, the Way of the Dragon. Yeah. So that was fucking cool. So I was definitely excited to see him play Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty too, like Sub-Zero was kind of one of the saving graces of this movie because he was terrifying. I liked him. I didn't like the direction his writing. I mean, I think what I mean is like aesthetically.
Yeah.
As the bad guy, I liked the look of it and him like walking slowly towards them. You're like, oh, here he comes. Oh, it's starting to snow. But I mean,
yeah, they did a good job of building tension in the movie. That's that like
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but when you were talking about the choreography for the 95 for the first one.
Yeah, 94, 90, yeah.
90s one. I don't know. I just had that really awesome, kind of dated at this point, but the end fight between
Liu Kang and Shang Tsung.
Yeah, and then that fucking theme music, and it does that like
Mortal Kombat.
It does that like spiral around them, and it's just like a close up, and there's like that was a cool. I remember being a kid. That's a great theme song,
dude. It is 100%.
That's a really great theme song.
Okay, so side note, I have been watching the Mortal Kombat Conquest TV show on HBOMax, which I didn't know existed
until you told me. I didn't know.
I think it's Conquest, or is Conquest? There's also a YouTube one that's really good. If you guys haven't watched that, I think that's Mortal Kombat Legacy. That's also on HBO Max. If you guys have HBO Max, I recommend watching that. That's the Mortal Kombat I prefer for live action stuff.
Yeah, and it's like if you were to watch all the episodes together, it's probably like an hour.
Yeah, because they're only like 7 to 12 minutes at most.
Yeah, and it's cool, and it's all like YouTube content created.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's really
cool.
It's really, really awesome. But Mortal Kombat Conquest came out in the late 90s as a TNT martial arts drama.
And that's the one they brought back. The guy that played Shang, he played Shang Chun again, right?
No, actually, there's nobody that it's not.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought that's what we said.
And that movie, in that show, they also like kind of created the 2 original characters and whatnot in it, but it's horrendous. And I forget what I was going to say about it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now I remember. What's really funny is watching it with the subtitles on, it goes into like the fight scenes, and it has like this like kind of intense like fight music happening, but then like you see the subtitle for the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, like the song from the Mortal Kombat song, where it's like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, but you're not hearing that, and it made me realize like, oh, when they were releasing this show in the late 90s, they owned the rights for this song in the TV show, but whatever production company that bought the show didn't buy the rights to this Mortal Kombat song, so they had to re-edit the music for the fight scenes in the show.
Oh, weird.
So, like, literally every fucking episode, you would hear Mortal Kombat, and they would like fight to that music. But now it's just like this, like generic, like, like I was like, whoa, this is weird.
That's really bizarre.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Mortal Kombat 2021.
I was kind of thinking, like, if this, like, let's say this was like your project that you were working on.
Like, I'm working on Mortal Kombat.
You're financing it. Let's say that. Like, you're not an option to be a writer or anything like that. You're the money backing. Who would you have wanted to direct this? Did you think of anyone? I thought of Brian Taylor.
What does Brian Taylor do?
Crank.
Yeah.
I was like,
who directed Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? I mean, I would want somebody that's like really knows like they're like not like how to tell a story like through fighting. Actually, honestly, Jackie Chan would be a great director for it. And Ang Lee. Oh fuck, duh, I knew that. Why did that? Okay. Anywho, yeah, there we go. Ang Lee. But you see, I'm also asking for a Mortal Kombat movie that has depth.
Yeah, well, I was kind of leaning into the violence. That's why I was like Brian Taylor.
That's
just
fair.
Over the top, like cartoonish level.
You see, that's actually a really weird thing with Mortal Kombat, though, is that everybody really like looks at like it's supposed to be over the top violent, and yes, it is. Like that is like Ed Boon and what Keith Tobias. I forget his first name, but the 2 creators of Mortal Kombat, that was kind of the whole idea, was like to create this fun fighting game that just had over-the-top violence. You know, that's really the origination of it.
Yeah.
And also to have fun with fans and like have huge Easter eggs. Like Ed Boon in the first Mortal Kombat game, he put Reptile in as a hidden character to fight without anybody knowing, and it took like 5 years of it being in the arcade for anybody to ever discover it.
Oh, okay.
So, and then in Mortal Kombat 2, he did it with, so he did Smoke and Jade, and I think Chameleon was in Mortal Kombat 2. Maybe Chameleon was Mortal Kombat 3. But Noob Saibot was Mortal Kombat 3, and Noob Saibot is actually Ed Boon's and whoever Tobias is, their last names, just in reverse. Boon and Tobias, Noob Saibot. Mm-hmm. And also, like, Tobias had told Ed Boon, like, don't put any more Easter eggs that I don't know about. And Ed Boon's like, okay. And did it anyway. Sorry, I'm talking about the game more than the movie.
So, all in all, you didn't care for the movie?
Not really, no. I mean, okay. What's interesting is, like, I didn't really like the direction that they just took the movie. And also, like, Cole Young is not a character in the games at all. And the whole like idea of like the branding of the Mortal Kombat like symbol on them to make their like the chosen
the dragon mark or whatever.
Yeah, the chosen ones to protect Earthrealm and whatnot. It's like this is like there's so much of this movie that's not not in Mortal Kombat that I was just like didn't really care for it. But then I did end up finding myself watching it a couple times over again just because it was good background popcorn noise. Like the fight scenes are fun. Maybe I was also kind of rewatching it to just kind of like try to find something. And also I knew we were going to talk about it. So maybe I was just kind of like, but I would also like, I would put it on as like a movie to fall asleep to.
Oh, it's like,
or something like while I'm working on something,
It's I have Rufo in the back of my head when like what he was saying to you about Star Wars. It's like, it's Mortal Kombat. Like, cool.
But in my opinion, it's not Mortal Kombat.
Okay, it is, but okay.
I mean, it's Mortal Kombat only for the sake of the character names that are in it. And like, yeah, they do actually. The only actual storyline they truly follow in this movie from the video games is the story of Scorpion and and Sub-Zero.
That's like one of my notes too. I think my biggest like pro con situation is that kind of stripped down, it's a Sub-Zero Scorpion movie, but there's not really any Scorpion in it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a bummer. I was really, really hoping they were going to lean into that really hard because that's one of the coolest like rivalries.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Why am I forgetting Scorpion's real name? Is it Takashi?
Hanzo.
Oh,
Hanzo, yeah.
Hanzo.
What is his last name?
Hanzo Hasashi.
Hanzo Hasashi.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah. He was him, Ludi Lin, and Joe Taliesin is the only ones I recognized as.
Oh, like from anything?
From anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the whole like the first 12 minutes is the whole build up to the feud that they have.
Yeah.
Which also
well, it's not the build up to the feud. It's actually kind of the culmination of their feud.
Yeah. Okay. It's the climax.
Yeah, it's Bihan killing Hanzo, and
did he always have ice powers? How did he get ice powers?
They don't really go into that, but yeah, it's part of their clan. I forget their clan name, but it's like they kind of have that magical ice power
ability. Okay,
yeah.
I was confused by that. But yeah, like I mean, the first 12 minutes of this like culmination of this blood feud was it was cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, and I think that's what kind of tripped me out is that like I'm like, oh, you're starting. This is where we're starting. Oh, then this whole Scorpion Sub-Zero thing is going to be a really big part of this movie, and then it kind of is
like a MacGuffin. Is that the right word from what we're talking about? Yeah, like a MacGuffin. It is because the inheritance, the bloodline of Scorpion are now the people, the heroes.
Yeah, but it's like I don't care about that. I want Scorpion. I don't care about his bloodline. Yeah.
Like everybody wanted Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
but that in itself completely retcons everything that's Mortal Kombat because Liu Kang is the chosen warrior to protect Earthrealm by the Elder Gods.
Yeah, do you know why they did this original character thing? The Cole Young story thing?
Because they fucking didn't play the video games? I don't know.
No, but I was even what on what podcast? I actually got like the writer on there. And he is a big what is his name? I can't remember what his name is. Yeah. Yeah, Greg Russo, I think, is who they got.
Greg Russo?
Yeah, Russo. I think that's who they... I'm not going to say what the podcast is because I might be... They got one of the writers on there to talk about it, and he was even like, yeah, I was like the fifth one that they had gotten for this movie.
Oh, yeah, this movie did have like a bunch of like... They had like a rotating writers.
Yeah, and so he's like, I'm the last one, and he is a fan of the games. Like, he played them and he enjoyed them, and they didn't really go into why I just didn't know if you knew why this whole, just to make it different.
I have no idea.
Maybe to separate it a lot from the 90s one, because Liu Kang is the chosen warrior in that. Maybe to just rather to make it completely different.
If they wanted to separate it from the 90s one, they could have like, I don't know, done the actual storyline of Mortal Kombat. Because I guess the original one does a lot better with that.
Like following the initial whatever.
Little, yeah, but I mean, yeah.
That was an intelligent statement. Following the whatever, the thing, the stuff.
Well, it's like there's even like little moments in this movie where it's like the character development is just poor. Like when like
I didn't find myself caring about anyone really.
Yeah, when Shang Tsung is like, Bi-Han, my chosen warrior, blah, 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 blah. And then Bi-Han's like, I'm no longer Bi-Han, I am Sub-Zero. It's like, why? Where did this choosing come from? You like this name now? Like, what? Like,
You might as well follow with, because I have ice powers.
oh, are we using our fake names now?
Yeah. Since I'm kind of like trying to lean into like you kind of leading this because you're a Mortal Kombat fan and I'm not particularly.
Don't ask me to explain the storyline of the games.
I'm good.
It's so hard.
I don't want to do that.
It's so complicated.
Were there a lot of recognizable fatalities that they were doing? Like, yeah, there were like, so there were fatalities ones from the game. I kind of remembered the hat one.
Kung Lao's blade hat, cutting, I think it's Nitaro's head in half, which was cool. Jax's head pound for the explode on General Reiko. Reiko. Sonia Blades. They kind of changed Sonia Blades a little bit. They kind of took one of her like special attack powers and turned it more into a fatality. Because one of her most popular fatality is the Kiss of Death, where it's like she
punches a hole. Is that the one, or is that
no? That's Casey.
Her kid.
That's Casey Cage.
Okay, yeah.
No, Sonya Blade. She had the Kiss of Death, where in the first games it was she would like blow a kiss and then like a weird spark would fly around and then light the person on fire. And then later on it turned in like she would actually kiss them on the cheek and their like head would explode.
Oh, okay.
And so they kind of changed it to more like she has like these pulse braces essentially that she in the movie she's like blows through Melina's gut.
Yeah.
But the thing that kind of confused me with that in the movie is like, why is Melina's spine still there? Does it just not go through bone?
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Other than just like for shock value, you know?
Yeah,
I can see that.
Just for the gore of it, I guess.
I mean, Cole Young was never in the game, so I don't know any fatalities from him.
Magic bracelet.
Oh, they did do Scorpion's fire breath fatality.
Yeah, that he tried to use on Johnny in the 90s one, right?
Yeah,
he like takes off his face.
Yeah, which that was kind of cool. And then Sub-Zero's, I think they had like Sub-Zero was just like fucking OP. Like,
Sub-Zero's CG on his like special moves and stuff was kind of one of the highlights of this movie. Like even when he like destroys Jax's arms and he's just like he's slowly doing it and like you're like almost like he's getting like pleasure out of the pain that he's causing. That's what I meant about him being scary.
Yeah,
because that was brutal. I was like, okay, just slowly freezing the arms off. I was like, and then the blood knife, that was cool as fuck.
Oh yeah. But then that final fight scene with Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Cole Young, like I don't know. There's like moments in it where I'm like Sub-Zero is like kind of subdued and Scorpion is like kind of subdued as well, and Cole Young chooses to run to his like family instead of like taking out Sub-Zero. It's like you have an opportunity to like to cut his head off. It's
a fatality.
Here. Yeah, and you're just like you killed.
Maybe they couldn't think of his fatality.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, I enjoyed it. I think what I am excited for is that they opened it up for a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, but it's turning into. I feel like it's kind of like why the X-Men movies became so blah, because it just turned into an excuse to just pop in random characters that have no character developed, that have no thought behind it. It's just like, this name, this character, here they are.
Yeah, because I mean, like the first one you had Toad for a minute.
Yeah.
And then he gets blown off, and then you see him again in the third one for a split second.
Yeah. And Sabretooth is only in the first one. Oh, no, he's in the second one too, isn't he? Is he in the second one?
No, he's in...
No, he's in X-Men Origins, yeah. So Sabretooth's only in the first, yeah.
Blob is in Apocalypse for a second.
Exactly. Like...
I see what you're saying. It's just like, now, we're just going to put...
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, I was reading too, that they're trying to not... Like, if this were to continue, they don't want to do that. They actually want to have... They don't want to have them just as, like, floaty background characters.
Cool. Well, they fucking fucked up in the first one.
But I don't know. don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And I mean, I really liked that they like really like almost like in big red letters put on the screen, we can now do Noob Saibot, and I love Noob Saibot, so I was like, yeah, let's get some Noob Saibot.
Yeah,
in
because if people that don't know their Mortal Kombat lore, Sub-Zero Bihan does become Noob Saibot after he is defeated by Scorpion.
He comes back and he's like one of the cheapest characters in the game.
Dude, yeah, Noob Saibot's fucking dope.
Yeah, he's so cheap. He's like Raphael from Soul Calibur. He just ruins shit. I love him. It's those teleporting powers. Him and Scorpion and their teleporting powers are bullshit.
Yeah, but Noob Saibot's teleporting. It's like every special move is a teleport.
Yeah, it's like just, oh, I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here. Like you can just, because he has that one where the teleport
drops into the ground.
Yeah, he drops it. You just keep doing that over and over again. If you want to be cheap like me.
Sector has a teleport like that. Shiva has a teleport like that. Cabal has a teleport like that.
Oh yeah, Cabal is kind of a cheap one too.
Yeah.
I hate fighting Cabal.
Cabal's a cool character, and they didn't really do him proper justice as well.
Oh yeah, he is in this movie, isn't he?
Yeah.
As General Grievous, I don't know, robot guy.
Well, I mean, no, he can't breathe because of I forget exactly what happened in the game.
Oh, is that actually in the game?
Yeah, no, like that mask, like he actually needs that as to breathe.
This is a Darth Vader thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But and he's also supposed to be part of the clan of the Black Dragon as well.
Which is what? Oh, did you
Kano took over?
Did you like Kano? A lot of people really liked. He was kind of a.
Yeah, Kano was Kano.
He was like polarized.
What's actually interesting is that the Aussie idea of Kano started from the Mortal Kombat the first movie. Like Kano was not Australian in the games at all. And then they did that in the movies, and then they were like, "Oh, that's cool. Let's just make him Australian."
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I think I liked Kano in the original one better because he was gross. He was just like
that's fair.
He was like a gross.
Yeah, he was kind of a baby in this one.
Yeah, he was kind of just throwing a lot of tantrum. It's like he was like sleazy, creepy in the first one, the original one, and I really liked that because it's like you wanted to hate him. You know, and this one I was just kind of like, I don't really have a feeling about you particularly. I don't hate you, like, and I don't mean like, and not in a toxic fandom hate. I mean like as a character that I'm not supposed to really get along with. Yeah. I don't really care. It's like you got your superpowers by literally throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay. And oh my god, and the fucking your Arcana, holy fucking shit! Like what? Ugh. Oh, but I guess they had to like find a way to explain why humans have these abilities that others don't or whatever.
I don't think you would have to for this franchise. No. I think people would just take it as it is.
But you see, that's the thing that I really like about Mortal Kombat Legacy on the YouTube series is that it takes all of these ideas of Mortal Kombat and they're like, how could this actually be a thing that works in the real world in its own way? You know, it's still a little fantastical and whatnot, but like, yeah. It's just that when I saw that they were doing this Mortal Kombat movie, I was like, man, I really hope that they lean into like this Mortal Kombat Legacy thing. That would be so fucking cool. That would be so cool.
Wasn't that kind of the idea though? Is like
I think that was the original idea. Yeah,
it was going to be more like in ties with that original content that was created. Yeah. I remember because I mean that thing came out years ago.
I think it was like all of the episodes released between the years of 2011 and 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost 10 years old now. Damn.
It's like kind of weird, and I think it's just also because of the era that we're in. I kind of feel like this needs to live in like the 90s in a lot of ways, because like there's this like from Hollywood Reporter John DeFro, a B movie that would benefit immensely from some wit in the script and charisma in the cast. It's not as aggressively hacky as Wes Anderson's original one. I don't know exactly how to say that whole word. But it runs into problems he didn't face in 95. Namely, the bar has been raised quite a bit for movies in which teams of superpowered young people have fights to save the universe. And I was like, that's actually kind of a good point, is that where we are with our because that's what this is. It's superhumans saving the planet. It's like between everything that has been coming out recently, the bar for this kind of shit is really high.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and I think back in 95, you just took it as, yeah, Mortal Kombat! You know, like that was the energy behind it. And you're like, let's do it. It's great.
I'm on a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, like it's 95. We got the whole world, the whole life ahead of us. Let's do this. Put the metal plate on the Aussie guy. Let's do it. I don't know. And it's just like, I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thought process. Because even then, even if you don't like some of these shows, like The Boys, ridiculously violent, but a huge statement on our world today.
Oh yeah,
Invincible,
like
the
Avengers.
It
has like a political like
stances, it has all so yeah, it's like the bar is set really high, and I feel like a lot of times people just can't take the step back and be like, okay, whatever. Like, I mean, because it's like 95, it's like it's a fun kind of crappy movie, but then you jump to Annihilation. That was just a really bad movie.
Yeah.
That even the campiness could not save that one like at all.
Because you felt like Annihilation, like they were trying to make a good movie and didn't.
Yeah, like they didn't lean into that.
Or I shouldn't say they were trying to make a better movie than it turned out to be.
Yeah, they didn't lean and that's like with this, especially this kind of franchise. You have to lean into that campy.
And this movie definitely does lean into itself.
Yeah, and I give it a lot of points for that. But I feel like a lot of the time too, it's the audience that was kind of like. I don't know. It's like I was like what I was saying about Rufa. I was just sitting there like, cool, Mortal Kombat. They're gonna rip each other's heads off. Whatever.
I mean, kind of like how I said with The Rise of Skywalker. It's like it's not the movie I was expecting, but here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I will happily talk about. You see, here's the thing: is I will happily talk about why I don't like it because that's just how I feel about it. But if somebody else enjoyed it, you liked it. Chris really liked it. Chris was even like, "Did you watch the same fucking movie as me?" Like,
oh, really? Was that like polarized between you two?
Yeah. And I was like, obviously not. But like, no, I mean, he likes it. You like it. Other people like it. That's cool. Like, my nephew now wants to play Mortal Kombat games. I'm like, awesome. That's really cool. They're very violent, but have fun.
Sweet. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all fine. But
yeah. But it's just not your thing. Would you rather watch the 95 one?
Yeah.
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 I mean, my biggest thing is just I think that was the best.
Your soul is mine.
He sells that Shang Tsung thing so fucking well. I love that guy. Just like the bad guy of the 90s, Phantom.
And I will fight in Mortal Kombat.
I'll feed your pink ass to the sharks. He just had these really great one-liner back.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either.
But he was great.
No, even like the look on his face, just like
snarly. He had these wonderful eyebrows
with his like
flaring nostrils. Yeah, he was so cool. I love that guy. He was like the bad guy of my childhood, and he was so good at it. He was just phenomenal. You would be next. And you're like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Any other things you want to talk about Mortal Kombat?
Yeah. Well, Goro really upset me too, but I don't.
Why? I liked Goro. I liked his size.
Yeah, but give me a single phrase he actually said.
He didn't say anything on the 95 one, really.
What? He has an entire conversation with Shang Tsung. They made Goro a just tall
tank
brute idiot. I feel.
Is he not like that?
No, Goro is a prince of his people.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know the lore that well. I don't know. He's always kind of just been.
Watch me get upset.
I liked him just because of his because I remember him from the games. Like, no, he's. I don't feel huge.
The CGI I don't feel for him was all that great as well. It looked okay. Also, I don't feel like the CGI for Reptile was very good as well.
Reptile was weird to me.
I didn't like Reptile at all.
He was Killer Croc, a skinnier Killer Croc, and I was like, okay.
No, they leaned super hard into the idea of him being
a big lizard,
not a humanoid lizard.
Yeah. I mean, I will only say my biggest con is kind of like the new original character. I just didn't really think was necessary. But then his whole magic bracelet armor thing I thought was pretty lame. And I don't want to be like an asshole about it. And I'm not going to, it's not making me angry. But I was just kind of like, it's pretty lame.
I also find it amusing that's like how they're trying not to super reveal that he's like the ancestor to Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi, even though duh, he is clearly. It's like when they finally say it, it's I feel like as they like revealed that in the script, everyone's supposed to be like, oh, he is. Wow. It's like, no, he clearly is. From the beginning, he's not. His like entire getup is like based in black and yellow. His bracelet that his daughter gives him is black and yellow. His entire color scheme is all scorpion stuff. Like, they are literally feeding it to you visually the entire film.
Do you think he'll become a character in the games?
I think so, yeah, and I'm going to be very upset about
like
it. Probably
like a DLC kind of thing.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think they're either working on a new one right now, or I think PlayStation 5 is going to have some type of update for Mortal Kombat 11. But I think they just need to do Mortal Kombat 12. It's been a long enough time.
How really? I feel like that hasn't been that long.
I mean, they did the DLC. Maybe I think the DLC that was like the second half of of Mortal Kombat 11. Mm-hmm. I think they came out in quarantine, didn't it? I feel like it did. But like,
do I own that? Oh yeah, I do own that.
Yeah. But the Mortal Kombat 11 came out like at the end of 2019, I want to say.
Okay.
So we're in 2021. We're fair due for another one. I mean, they don't do one like every year, like Madden or something like that. They actually
FIFA or whatever.
Yeah, they actually they try to figure out a storyline.
Okay.
That just makes it a more convoluted storyline.
I like when we were playing through the storyline when we first got it, and I was just like, "Do you have any idea what the fuck's happening?" She's
you and Fallon?
Yeah. She's like, "Nope." I was like, "I have no idea what the fuck's happening." I'm like having fun because it's like a fun game, but I don't know what there's like big Aztec god guy thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I've been playing it since the reboot on the PlayStation 3. So Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation 3 is technically Mortal Kombat 9.
Cool. Right on.
And that's when they rebooted the entire story from the end of Mortal Kombat 2.
So they did like a new 52 with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Raiden time traveled and reset everything.
Yeah, because I remember Liu Kang dying.
Yeah. That was
like a zombie guy.
Yeah, that's Mortal Kombat, Armageddon, and Deadly Alliance.
Oh, I liked Armageddon.
Now, Armageddon, you can create your own character.
Yeah, Armageddon was cool. I remember that one. And then Shaolin Monks, was that what it was called?
Yeah, that was the one you just played as Kung Lao and Liu Kang. Yeah. It was more of like a beat 'em up style.
Yeah,
game.
Kind of like a RPG, roam around. It didn't do the...
I wouldn't say RPG. It was like third person, like,
role playing game.
Yeah,
role played. Yeah.
I think we should move forward.
Okay, cool.
Take a quick little break.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick little break, and then we're gonna be doing just chit chatting about some toxic fandom and what that means.
Yeah, talk about we're gonna talk about what toxic fandom is. Mm-hmm. You know, which I feel strangely just talking to some people today, they're like, "What is that?"
No,
like,
I had the same thing.
Interesting.
So if you guys are interested, just we'll be back in just a sec.
Welcome back to Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hello.
Smooth stylings of
94.7 The Wave. Woo.
Anywho,
for all my California people out there.
There we go. All right, so like we said, we are going to now be discussing. This is kind of like I guess like a expose or a little article or what am I trying to say?
PSA?
Not a PSA. It's a little bit of research that we put into toxic fandom, and I guess we're just like, relaying the information.
Yeah, because right before the break too, you were saying that you had people like not really knowing.
Yeah,
I had the same kind of.
Yeah,
I was asking around like from your own, to whoever this person I'm talking to. Because names are not needed for this particular example, but like being like, hey, so in your life, have you ever experienced toxic fandom with
something that you enjoy?
Yeah. And the question just kind of got me a lot of blank stares, and I was like,
yeah,
they're like, I don't really understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, what is toxic fandom?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, interesting. But yeah,
well, I feel like we kind of live in an age right now where we're starting to realize that with everything that has a positive, there is obviously a negative. The world doesn't, it's all a gray area for everything. Because, like, I remember, like, just kind of quick correlation, I guess, parallel. Because I remember when I was going to Cornish and a couple of like guy friends trying to talk about toxic masculinity, and some of them would be like, toxic masculinity, like what is that? Like how is that even a thing? Like what? Like, and I would give them examples of like something like this, and they're like that's just guys being guys, and I'm like, that's right there, toxic masculinity. You know, the whole idea like boys will be boys and stuff like that. So like the idea of like toxic, like people know that there's a fandom. Of course, like there's going to be people that take it too far.
Yeah.
You know, which actually comes to a quote that I found from one of the articles that I kind of like picked some stuff out of. This is from Jim Garrity of the National Review. And it's the phenomenon of fixated fans so consumed with passion that they remind us that fan stemmed from the word fanatic.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so that list of, just so everybody gets it, I have kind of like, I think we both kind of have the same article here. Yeah, Rachel Leffler from Real Rundown.
Oh yeah.
I really like her article. I had 3 articles that I kind of like really dived into that I sent you.
Yeah, I think I read like 12 articles on this. I finally had to stop because I was like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I found 3. I mean, I found more, but like some of them that I felt like a lot of them were just starting to kind of repeat themselves.
Yeah.
So I found these were the 3 that I kind of like. I found like the most nuggets of information from. And so like defining healthy versus toxic fandom. This is Rachel Leffler from Real Rundown. Good fandom is healthy and appreciative. Good fans support each other in a collaborative community. They work to build each other up. Toxic fandom is the opposite. It is when the fans attack other fans with purity tests. Toxic fans are essentially the abusive party in an abusive relationship with the content they're a fan of. That is, they aren't just there to celebrate it, but to control it and nag it. Then it kind of goes farther into explaining like this tends to happen when they feel like only they are true fans, quote unquote true fans, and other people are fake posers or casual fans.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of hits a description of toxic fandom on a nutshell.
Yeah, that kind of gives it a nice a little box.
And then like continuing on with her stuff, like she also is like what makes toxic fandom. Like there's like 3 main ingredients she goes into talking about. That's possessiveness, entitlement, and a feeling of superiority are the 3 main ingredients to the
ingredients in the toxic fandom stew.
Yeah. And I don't know, did you want to go into any further stuff within that?
Yeah, I mean, like, and then I had read another article by Catherine Trendacosta, When Fandom is the Problem. The interplay between fandom and creators of media can cause a dangerous downward spiral. The bad behavior of one enables the bad behavior of the other, until everyone just leaves them both for dead. All of it's given a supercharge by the ability to use the internet to amplify questions and target them very specifically. So while this can allow fans to point out flaws that should be fixed, it can also lead to dangerous amount of vitriol being directed at people who made and act in media.
Yes.
The Sonic trailer debacle is kind of both of these things at work. And doing notes, I was just thinking about that. I remember when it was all going down, for those of you that maybe don't remember or don't know, when there was a live action Sonic movie.
Yes.
That happened.
Hopefully you remember that maybe.
Yeah. But when they did the trailer of what and they showed Sonic for the first time, the internet literally exploded with people just losing their minds because they made him a little more realistic. I don't know. He didn't have the real big eye. He looked like a different type of Sonic, but he was also terrifying looking. He kind of he looked like a Who to me.
No, dude, it was really creepy looking to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I get like the whole like thing, like how the internet blew up, and this is an idea of toxic fandom, kind of like bullying, like
yeah, they bullied an entire studio into changing it, which I thought was funny at the time. Just I was like, oh, I didn't realize that much power was being held by the fans. But then also going back, I'm like, that's not
at some point
your project.
But at some point, there's also like you are doing this for the fans, and if all of your fandom's like, dude, guys, you messed up.
Totally, but but the way you just said it is not how it happened.
No, not at all. Well, it's also like another good example of this is the release of the Snyder Cut. Like, a bunch of a lot of DC fans really attacked HBO producers online and sent them with death threats and shit like that. See, that's it's things like that, and then in Star Wars and The Last Jedi, and the amount of people that were sending out petitions to have The Last Jedi erased from Star Wars canon because it didn't show Luke Skywalker in the hero light that they thought he was,
Yeah. I mean, that's also kind of why we're bringing it up, is because we did finish Star Wars, and there was so much toxicity that we actually even talked about in those episodes. But it's also, I just find really interesting about this whole toxic thing, is just how much of a time limit it's on.
What do you mean?
I mean, okay, so an example right now that kind of, especially because then there is a new season coming, The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
The Witcher is a book, video game, and television series.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are doing this adaptation and they're taking story arcs and taking things from the books and changing it to adapt it to a TV series, people are freaking out. They're saying that Witcher is going to be the next Star Wars when it comes to toxic fans. And I just am like, why?
I could see that, yeah.
But I'm like, why? Because not only is it I think what I mean by the time limit is I'm kind of late to the Witcher game. That game came out in 2015, and I just played it.
There's still a lot of people that are late to the Witcher game.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it 6 years after the games came out, and then I started reading the books, and then I was like, no, I think I first watched the TV show.
Yeah, you watched the show, and then you played the game, and then you read the books, right? Yeah.
And I was like, I love that there are 3 completely different platforms for people to get into this lore. You're not much of a reader. Okay, watch the show or play the video game. You don't play video games, so you have books. You know what I mean? And it's a great introductory for someone to, on any kind of medium, to jump into this really rich fantasy world. And I'm also it's so rich that, you're going to have to tweak things to make it into a show. Otherwise, you're going to have...
It has to fit in the medium that it's being presented in.
So it's you can't have all of the little bells and whistles that go along from the book into a 45-minute episode of a show.
Like Game of Thrones, and how much people tore apart Game of Thrones. I mean, obviously the books haven't been finished, but they're like, oh, this character in the book is so much cooler. They don't even have this character in the book, and this and this and this and that.
Yeah, and even the 2 creators of the show too said that's one of the reasons they stepped out of possibly. I mean, there's more. There's more to it than that, but one of the reasons was the fandom, because they were supposed to do Star Wars movies.
Yep.
And they got so ripped apart. They were like, we don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's sad. Because granted, I didn't particularly like the way Game of Thrones ended, but I enjoyed it. My whole watch through. I watched all of it, so obviously I enjoyed it. And it's it ended in a way that was kind of womp womp. I don't think you should rip people, make it so they don't want to do another. They're so scared of your reaction.
Yeah,
they don't want to do another project, especially one like Star Wars that has so much toxicity behind it.
Well, I mean, and I think that's a big thing is when it comes down to the superiority of some of these fans that they feel. It's it's okay to be disappointed in something. You don't have they made it. You don't have to like it. It's also disappointment's part of life. Come on, let's be real here.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, and it's just and there's just so much of it, and especially that's what just really blows my mind. It's just I just see it as a great way for introduction to things. And it's don't you want to have people? I want more people that have played Witcher so I can talk to them about that.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, did you or that one?
But you want to talk to them about it. You don't want them to be like, oh, you've only played the video games.
Yeah,
that's the sense of entitlement that's kind of the big thing that toxic fandom is really ignite. It's when I tell people that I've only seen the Harry Potter movies and that I've only watched all of them once, and I watched them once 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that first time people so many people were like, you need to read the books. And I was like, no, I don't want to read the books. I want to watch the movies. I'm not really a big reader. I'm a very slow reader.
Yeah.
And
And also, like, at this point, too, you're really late to the game.
Exactly.
And that's a big... And, like, if you were reading them as they came out, you were looking... It's like looking forward to the next season of your show. Like, oh, here we go. Sweet.
Exactly.
You're enthralled. But now it's like, you don't want to pick up... It's like it's being like, hey, you know what you should do? Like, it's the same, like, Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
You don't want to read the Vampire Chronicles? I get it. There are, like, 13 books.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I've read, like, 4 of them. And then I was like, I'm done. This is too... I'm you know...
It's a lot of vampire smut.
Real talk. Actually, just vampire. I was gonna say softcore porn, but it's not even. It's pretty.
Yeah.
They like to love each other.
But yeah, like it's what's interesting with this as well is like Jim Garrity in the National Review. He points out his article kind of like derails. I don't want to say derails, but it moves into this idea of like how people they lash out on this like thing because they want to feel connected with it in this weird way, and they're kind of like putting this stuff on like onto a pedestal, you know. They're like, it's like they're looking at like these celebrities or these pieces of art as like godlike, deity-like things, you know. And like he has this awesome paragraph that I'm going to read here. The fact that so many people are willing to lash out so angrily over some random person's criticism of their favorite pop star suggests to me that we live in a society full of people who are desperate to believe in something. They yearn for someone to put their faith in and to inspire them. They want to believe that someone out there is, if not perfect, about as close as any human being can get to that exalted status. They want to feel connected to a larger group, a community all experiencing the same feelings at the same time. They want to believe in something greater that gives them purpose and direction, provides a set of role models, and often gives them some sort of lesson about what living a good life is. And so when they have this huge expectation of what they want it to be, and then it doesn't turn out to be that way, or someone says something negative about it, then they snap.
Yeah.
You know? And that's like where, like, you were talking about, like, it's only a matter of time for Witcher to have toxic fans like that. That's what this is talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what it's such a backpedaling concept, because it's like, you like this thing. Don't you want more of that content? Mm-hmm. Again, like Rufo, you're still watching blah, whatever it is. Even like I was thinking too. I was kind of bouncing off ideas earlier with Fallon, and I was like, it's just it's the it's obviously like the internet, but I was thinking like, would Jurassic Park have gotten this much hate towards it? Because I know that if I remember correctly,
when the first movie came out,
the first trilogy, because it did diverge off the initial content.
Yeah,
in ways
it probably would have, because like Rachel LaFerty brings up that a lot of these like toxic fandoms do happen in echo chambers of the internet.
Yeah,
you know, it's like these like it kind of like how like 8chan like became this huge like platform for Q and QAnon people, and like it was just an echo chamber for just.
Is that a more polite version of saying a circle jerk?
Like an echo chamber?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
It's more like it's think of it more like a vacuum of where you can just like scream whatever you want and everybody kind of agrees with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Which I could see psychologically feeling good.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
My feelings are
being validated.
Validated. Thank you. That's the word. Validated.
You know, so then like when you have this, like you have these huge group of like people that you can like, you know, talk to on the internet that are like, you know, like Rick and Morty fans, like, there was a huge thing of like them not wanting there to be as many women writers in the room because they felt like they were ruining the humor. They were making the humor in Rick and Morty not as intelligent. And Dan Harmon was like, fuck you guys. These women are some of the most brilliant writers I've ever met, and they're making the show better.
Yeah, no, Rick and Morty has a
huge toxic fandom. Yeah.
Well, it's like, and I'm just like, and then thinking about that too. It's like, and then because I don't really particularly, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really remember Jurassic World having a huge backlash. I remember people not liking it, but I don't remember like being volatile. And maybe I'm completely wrong.
I mean, we weren't a part of those echo chambers, maybe, you know.
Yeah, but it's like, but that's, and then it goes back into that whole thing. It's like, it's a movie with big dinosaurs. That's awesome.
Oh my god, could you imagine like a paleontologist, like toxic fan, like, oh, that's not how dinosaurs actually existed, okay?
You just described Ross, but
I know.
But it's like, and again, it's like, I think with us doing this podcast and stuff, we do have this new lens that we like take in our content.
Because we're really trying to like look at things like, we're not trying to like talk shit about anything, but if something's not good, we're going to say it's not good.
Yeah, like we didn't like it, but we're not going to sit there at the top of the mountain screaming. And it's just like, it's just so weird. I just don't understand. Like and then it's one of those things I know for a fact. I can't give an example. I'm sure that I was one of these people about something.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely
I'm not like that
been
anymore. But I'm like, I can't wrap my head around why did I think that they needed to feel.
It's in a weird way. It's a sense of just like, so it's like when you start to bully somebody, it's out of defense. It's out of a defense mechanism most of the time, you know.
Yeah.
It's like in like what Rachel Ferretti says in one of the things. It's like, where is it? Many fans also come from a place of being bullied or socially excluded due to their fandoms. This makes the fandom an important central part of their identity. Their self-concept is shaped by the fact that their fandom makes them an outcast. To rationalize this exclusion, some people get it in their heads that it was caused by the jealousy of the inferior intellects, unable to grasp the cool intellectual thing the fan is into. These inferior normies, these quote-unquote normies, lash out at fans out of jealousy or ignorant misunderstanding. Rick and Morty's more toxic fans see it this way. But they're not the only fans who think, one, the thing I like makes me special, and two, I'm being bullied because of being special.
Yeah.
So it's like a defense mechanism, you know, that you just start to, you've been bullied about certain things, you know, that then you're going to like respond to people to make yourself feel better that don't understand it. You're going to now bully those people that don't understand it.
And it's such a weird animal.
Yeah.
Because even within like the fact too that there like a couple of different things. The fact that there is toxic fandom for like people, like Taylor Swift and like all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. The Jim Garrity article is all about this woman who like her life fell apart because she made one tweet about Nicki Minaj, wanting Nicki Minaj to write more thoughtful and mature music. And everyone's like, like she was just sharing her opinion, like not saying that she didn't like what Nicki was doing. She's like, Nicki's like getting in her 30s. Maybe it would be cool to see her talk about like her feelings a little bit more, not just this what she's doing, you know. And
it's just like it's like between that and then when it comes to like, and we talked a lot about like movies and TV and stuff, but even like video games.
Well, sports fans are super toxic.
It
can be super toxic, you know. I mean, fucking being in the sports, you know, fandom community, you know.
And it's like that one just kind of, because that's literally, but that one in a weird way, like not condoning it, but that makes sense because that is a rivalry. There is this team that is against this team.
Well, there's a difference between playing into the rivalry and actually like being toxic.
100%. Yeah. But it's like you have these sports dynasties that have been battling for ages, and you know they're always trying to one up and get to that, you know, that level. And so it kind of makes sense that there would be a rivalry. You can have a rivalry with the other opposing team. That's totally that makes sense. But do not get into a physical altercation at the bar over it. You know, that's when it's like, what? And it's like, I just think it's so bizarre, especially with a lot of these things, is like video games. People will get viscerally upset about something in a video game that, number one, maybe don't know at all how to program a game. So the thing you wanted to happen maybe can't happen. And two, it's a huge team of faceless strangers that are working together to present a product for your enjoyment, but then you're going to kick and scream about it. It's just like, okay, like I get, but it's also that thing. It's like all of this media that is being ingested is a choice. You don't have to. You really hate it, like the Game of Thrones thing. You hated the way it ended, then don't watch the ending again. Like maybe go the first 4 seasons and go, okay, I'm good, I'm done. And what I mean, I do think there's definitely a fine line between people that are like
screaming, like crying out on the mountain, like this sucks, blah blah, and the people that are like purposely making like death threats, you know?
Yeah, that's I don't.
And that's like the next, like that's like far level like toxic fandom. Like, I could like the whole like release the Snyder Cut thing. The producers at Warner Brothers did not want Zack Snyder to do this because what message would that send to these fans that have been sending death threats to these producers? You know?
Yeah,
they're like they were so reluctant on it
because you're basically you're bending to the will of the bully.
Exactly.
And you're giving a reward for bad behavior.
And like what sucks about that is like I feel like there were a lot of people that did the proper measures for the Snyder Cut, and I'm really happy it was released. Mm-hmm. But like people like Jason Momoa is like, I just watched the Snyder Cut. Damn, it was good. Release the Snyder Cut, please.
Yeah.
You know, not like I'm gonna, you know, never work for DC again, or I'm gonna like nothing.
I'm gonna kick down the doors of the producers and drag them out until they sign the contracts.
Like when everybody in a collective voice can be like, I want this to happen, that's cool. But when most of those people, or even like some of those people, are doing it in a like really attacking, bullying, or like threatening way, that's where it really gets too far. And even like Rachel Laferty in her article, she has like a website to go to, like if you feel like if you're online and you're like experiencing any type of stuff like this. It's this website, privacyrights.org. And so like, and they like literally like they will like do research on the like online harassment, cyber stalking, a bunch of stuff. So if anybody out there listening has ever been cyberbullied or anything like that, that might be a place to go to kind of get some help.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just like this is.
I didn't like this.
I thought it was so funny. It's this article by Michelle Spies. I'm not gonna like read it, but it says basically did a vote to determine the worst fan base, and it's
I made the internet vote to determine the worst fan base. It's all fun and games. It's all a joke. Like she even kind of explains that it's like this isn't meant to be taken seriously.
This isn't like real journalism, but she just goes through and just has like little quips about different stuff, and some of them just made me laugh really hard.
Yeah, she breaks down to like 5 tiers.
Yeah, like 5 tiers of like. That's the one made me think of you.
The WWE. When I close my eyes and try to think of a WWE fan, I picture a long-haired white man drinking a flavored Mountain Dew in a cutoff. Generally loud and hateful fans.
Just like, okay. But then, or like, this one I thought of me. Even though they're generally good people, they're annoying. We get it. The show's amazing and so underrated. Just talking about Schitt's Creek. I just was like, I just thought it was funny. There are these very uber specific.
It's kind of like a roast.
Yeah, they're kind of like so.
Yeah.
I say read it because if you are a fan, like if you can, take a joke, I guess. Like you want to read, like if you're like,
I'm just joking.
The Office, yes, The Office is a great show, but it also ended 6 years ago, and the fans refused to watch anything else. Like it's just kind of like a funny roast on.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I didn't really read too much into it because I was trying to find, real.
Yeah. No.
Real content.
Yeah, but I thought
real notes.
This was just like a light one that I was like, it was fun to like. So I just went through and found the ones I like, and I was like, yeah, it's true. For me, it's true.
Yep, not gonna read that one.
Which one?
Tarantino.
Okay. Don't read that one.
Do you have much more else to say with everything?
I just want everyone to chill the fuck out.
I do want to kind of like end this with definitely like a recommendation of out of all of these. We're gonna put these on our blog, but the one that I would highly recommend to read, I think is really cool, is on RogerEbert.com.
Oh yeah, thank you. I wanted to bring that up too. That was a really good one.
It's written by Matt St. Clair, and it's called How Misery Predicted Toxic Fandom.
Yeah.
And it points out how Annie is a metaphor for how toxic fans treat the creators of the work that they consume. And I just want to read the closing statement to it because it's so good. It's such a good parallel metaphor for what's happening, So instead of using sledgehammers or matches like Annie, 21st century fans use petitions, DMs, and 280 tweet characters as their own form of hobbling, hoping to tie artists to their favorite artworks and bend them to their will. This twisted form of devotion becomes overly integrated into their daily lives. Misery remains a shattering reminder that this line between admiration and obsession is one that shouldn't be crossed.
Yeah, this article is phenomenal.
It's such a good article.
And just for context, if anyone doesn't know, Misery.
Oh, yeah. Like, everybody knows Misery.
Misery is a Stephen King novel and movie.
Yeah.
Where a writer, what's his name?
James Caan.
Yeah.
I don't know the character's name.
No, yeah, but James Caan.
James Caan, yeah.
Plays a writer who ends up getting into an accident on a snowy mountain and then rescued by a seemingly sweet woman who is nursing him back to health, only to find out that she is a fanatic fan of his book series, Misery.
Yeah.
And
Which the main character's name Misery.
Yeah.
Misery,
whatever.
Yeah.
But in his, as an artist, decided to finish the saga of Misery by killing her off. This woman did not like that.
She freaks out.
And basically...
And he's writing the manuscript in her...
Yeah. And she is basically keeping him hostage to rewrite
to the way that she wants it.
And torturing him in the process. And it's him, and there's a scene where she... heads up, she hobbles him with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
She breaks his, and it's to this day
terrifying.
To this day gives me goosebumps when I think about it because it's horrifying.
Yeah.
And even she to Kathy Bates is horrified by it.
Yeah.
Like just the whole like concept. But yeah, so and then it's him trying to escape this whole situation while he's being tortured and everything. So that's the context for it. And that was such a great correlation connection.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously a very extreme.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also inspired by Stephen King himself and how he experienced a huge uproar from his fans when he wanted to take a step away from writing horror and he wanted to write something else, and all of his fans felt betrayed by him.
Yeah.
Well, not all of us. I mean,
a percentage.
So like the idea of like, so Misery is just kind of like this, it's a reflection of like how an artist can become trapped by their fandom.
Yeah.
You know? And it's really good.
I wonder if Anne Rice also had that problem.
Very possible. I don't know.
Like when she started going off of her vampire and started...
Yeah, but she was still writing smut. I love that word so much.
You said it a couple times. I'm getting that vibe. But yeah, so yeah, we'll go ahead and post these. But yeah, that was a really cool article. Man, fucking Roger Ebert's website does have some...
It has some really cool
they get some
really
cool
cool
shit.
articles.
Yeah, they get some cool shit on that. And as soon as it was one of those things, when I read the title of it, I went, yeah, okay, let's get in here. Good job, Matt St. Clair. Some good shit. And it came out pretty recently, too. It came out December 8th, 2020.
Actually, all three of my articles came out within the last 2 or 3 years.
Oh, cool. So they're all pretty relative.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. I guess we could wrap up. In your opinion, what do you think is the most toxic fan base?
I don't know, existence?
Life?
Yeah. No, I mean, I truly think like sports fans are really far up there. Anime fans are really far up there too.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, just think like a lot of the people that live in those echo chambers, the neckbeards, incels, people that
I think weirdly, kind of as a general, the book lovers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I don't mean in the sense of shouting out to...
You have to read the book before you see the movie.
But like not shouting out to the makers of it, but in their own group.
To other fans.
To you individually.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, you didn't read the book, so
yeah,
you don't know. I'm like, okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to read the book. It's like, have you tried to read Jurassic Park? It's great. It's long, and it's kind of tedious but at points. Like,
I mean, comic book fans are pretty far up there too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Or fucking Dune. Like, go like the new Dune. Totally. Don't want to read the books. I get it. They're hard.
A lot of books.
They're really detailed. But yeah, so everyone just
Everybody chill the fuck out.
and be nice to each other.
Calm down, all right?
And then just be nice to
Just
each other.
fucking be nice!
And then bitch about it to your friends. Not
God damn it!
Can you chill? Jesus. God. In a small room and you're screaming. And I have headphones on.
At least I'm not screaming into the microphone.
I do thank you for pulling away. I appreciate that.
I wanted to lean into the bit. I'm sorry, okay? I had to lean into the bit. Yeah,
But yeah, so that's what toxic.
Everybody love each other, you know?
Yeah, don't be toxic. Do you want to tell them what we're doing next?
Yeah. Next, we are gonna have a little fun month of like Western / failed summer blockbuster, flopped summer blockbusters.
Yeah, so it started off as the summer blockbusters that flopped, and then I kind of leaned into cowboy movies with a weird twist.
So next week we're doing Wild Wild West. Wild West.
Yeah. And so, yeah, go ahead and listen to that, and then we'll save the second one. Maybe if you can figure it out, think about it. Weird cowboy movies. Summer blockbuster flops.
If you figure it out, we'll
really
send you a candy bar.
It's really not that hard. It's not that hard of a riddle.
Yeah.
It's kind of an uber specific topic.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Don't forget to send that like and subscribe stuff, follow, share with friends. I mean, that's kind of the key thing. It's like,
Please share with friends.
Listen to it with friends with some popcorn and some tea. That's not a good combination.
That was weird. And send us a message if you liked it or we pissed you off somehow. I'm very curious.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Have a good weekend. Yeah. Okay. Friday.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy Jacobs mixtape.
Mixtape.
Bye.